My name is Maxo Tasiwa Chimedza. I was born on 15 Feb 1994 in Mutare. I finished my A-levels in 2012. That's when I finished my A-levels. But I couldn't proceed to the university because I was an orphan. My aunties were the ones who were helping me to pay for the primary levels and the secondary levels. But when it came to the university levels, the bills became steep. That's when I came to Harare in 2013. I stayed with my uncle in Warren Park. Then 2014, I came to Mbare. Then I began to work in some backyard colleges. So in 2020, I took the WhatsApp system, the school system, the conventional school system, and imparted it on WhatsApp. This implied that I came up with periodic timetables. I came up with daily lessons. I came up with assignments, days in which they would submit their assignments, something like that. So it was like a school system which was being run right on WhatsApp. Right. So even in mid-2020, we also wrote the mid-year examinations. You know, in Zimbabwe, before the candidates write the final exams, we ascertain whether or not they are prepared for the exams by writing the mid-year exams. I also instigated the writing of those exams. That was in mid-2020. And I marked over, there were around 600 essays all by myself. I have this final type of revision that I conditioned them, mental conditioning them for the final exams. So they wrote the subjects that I taught them. That is my areas of specialty are history, family and religious studies, and Shona. So around 70 of them wrote, and I got 41 A's, and which was accompanied by 100% pass rate, teaching on WhatsApp. No one failed. The successes that I have recorded include the fact that, okay, obviously, the flying colors, and the other thing which is major is offering an alternative under a COVID-induced lockdown. I've revolutionized WhatsApp learning in a COVID-induced lockdown. I've gave them a meaning because when people hear about WhatsApp lesson, they think of Google Docs, they think of Google meetings and stuff. But I sort of formalized in an unconventional way, you know, and came up with a solution which many educationists have held and found out that it is indeed a success, and it is indeed the fact that I have come up with inroads for WhatsApp learning, which is a benefit to education sector throughout the whole world. So I came up with an option in tough times. The challenges were first, number one, data challenges, right? And most of my students were from poor background. I am from a poor background. So I usually want to help those who are also from a poor background. There are some students who struggle with online lessons. Right, there are just a few. I have about 3 students only that I help face to face. They have problems with their phones and they are closer to me. Maybe in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time, this thing must be popular. And I'm not saying it must replace the conventional way of learning, but it must work hand in glove. You know, WhatsApp learning and conventional way, it must work hand in glove, because we don't even know whether COVID is here to stay or not to stay as well. So it's also an alternative, which we must use even if we are going to school, because we may never know. So we must be prepared of anything negative which might happen in the future. So this is a good thing to go. So I'm seeing a bright future in 5 years' time. In as much as how I go about it, how I conduct my lessons, you know, people use WhatsApp to communicate. I use WhatsApp to teach. The way we communicate on WhatsApp, casually or with our brothers or with our sisters, is the same way I use it for teaching. The only difference is that I have a group and I come up with the timetables. But it's just the same functions that people use. So my lesson or my daily lesson or the lesson that is on my timetable comprises of an audio lesson in most cases. Then this audio lesson is accompanied by some notes, right? Then we also have textbooks that we send. So I teach using what we call the topic mastery approach, in which you learn about a certain source in a certain topic from various sources. For example, let me give you an example. I'll be teaching about the domestic policies of Napoleon in history. So I come up with an audio lesson for it, right? Number one. Then I come up with the notes for it, right? Then I provide the textbooks for that topic. It's called the topic master. You are going to read about the domestic policy in Dennis Richards' textbook, in Thompson, in Agatha Ram, in Jonathan Speber, in C.A. Leeds, all those textbooks, right? So you would have much knowledge, right, on one topic. So that's how I do it. It's like I just said, 9 o'clock, I'm going to drop my lesson. So the WhatsApp lessons are different from conventional lessons, from school conventional lessons, due to the fact that at school, in our normal schools, our common schools, the teacher has to stand in front of the students for 45 minutes. But on WhatsApp, I just need 2 minutes to deliver my lessons. It's a matter of I already have the pre-recorded lessons. Then I just send them at a certain time. Negative comments about me being an unqualified teacher. Yeah, it hurts me. Why? Because it's an emotional thing. I did not choose to be unqualified. There were circumstances beyond my control. Sometimes when my stories will be posted, comments like that will really hurt me. The people will say a lot, you know. But, you know, as someone who is a bit popular now, I just brush it off, you know, and just focus on my thing. So, for formality reasons, I think maybe next year but one, I will go to the university. I'll go. There are some people who are willing to assist me, you know. But what I believe is teaching is a gift from God. It's a passion from God. So I wouldn't want to listen to some negative comments, while at least I believe that God can guide me through. You know, I don't have any teaching qualifications. What I need is just the syllabus. I have all the syllabi of the subjects that I teach in my phone. It's just a matter of analyzing. It's natural. Just like right now I've introduced Cambridge. I'm teaching geography at O-level Cambridge, English language at O-level Cambridge. No one taught me. It's just a matter of asking someone to send me the syllabus. Then I spend the whole night analyzing it. Tomorrow I will be teaching. That's what I do. No college qualification, no what. So sometimes negative comments also prove me wrong. For example, this year, I really wanted to go to the university. I would have started there this time, but I just stopped myself because I wanted to prove that with my unqualified nature, I want to produce more good results.